Okay, just coming. Just coming. Good afternoon. It's a cool, bright and sunny day. It is Sunday, November the 30th, and guess where I've just come back from, or I came back from yesterday, which was DragonMeet 2025 in that there London, as some people like to say. And of course I've got a nice hot cup of tea. So, DragonMeet 2025. DragonMeet takes place either at the end of November or beginning of December at the end of the year in London. Previous events have been Kensington Town Hall and Novotel Hotel in Hammersmith. This year, for the first time, it rapidly expanded to be in the Excel Convention Centre in East London, sort of Docklands area, at by the Thames, and much bigger venue, more space, better organised, not quite as cosy, not so many places where you can just drop in and chat. There's no immediate talking. There's the bar area of the hotel where you can just go and catch up, and it kind of lost a little bit of its character, but because of that. But there was more room to move around, more publishers there, and if it felt like a little bit like UK Games Expo, that's because of the type of venue it was in. But it was UK Games Expo without the sellers and publishers of board games, sellers and publishers of collectible card games. Now, there's no criticism for having either of those at a convention, and their inclusion is what makes UK Games Expo so big. However, what it does mean is that you have a room with essentially an exhibition space with just about all of the UK-based and others, and from elsewhere, based role-playing publishers in the country in one spot, which they will be there at UK Games Expo, but they're spread out. So that means a lot of walking and back and forth and working out where everything is. You've got to do a bit of that at DragonMeet to some extent, but everyone's there. You can get round, you can talk to people in a day, and catch up, which is great, which is what I really kind of need. Anyway, so you are due an unbagging video. I had a very good day, went down with my friend Neve. Excel Centre is a lot easier to get to than the previous venues, because it's very direct. Literally Euston Station, Tottenham Court Road, Elizabeth Line, zip all the way through, and it's nice, quick and easy, about half an hour total. The only issues, I think, perhaps, is if you're carrying a lot of content like I am, that big red bag, is negotiating sort of like the steps. There are lifts throughout the London Underground system, but there are steps as well, and you've got to get up those, and it's very busy. So anyway, nice hot cup of tea time. It was great to see everyone. Catch up with them for a few minutes. It's just not enough time to get everything done in one day. The question is, what did I bring back? What did I bring back for me to review, talk about for the next 6 months, unbox properly, and also the essay review? So let's have a look at my contents of my trusty bag of holding. And I actually recommend, this is a very heavy, sturdy. There have been plenty of people who've done bags of unholding in the past. Just labelled the words bag of holding on them, and I've got one, and it's okay. It was fairly light, not really designed to be a bag of holding. Okay, the point of a bag of holding is to hold a lot and hold it securely. This does. Fantastic. If you get to go to Gen Con and you absolutely really want a bag of holding, yeah, go get one of these. But let's have a look inside. No, I didn't fill this bag out. In years past, I have actually filled this bag, and it gets incredibly heavy. So we've got a spare bag. And then a couple of boxes. So we've got the Dumb Dares and Silly Side Quests, the in-character game for your RPG party from Loke Battle Matt. They did a deck of insults last year, which I reviewed. Now, I'm not necessarily going to review all of their maps and stuff, because essentially there's only a limited amount of sort of content you can write about in terms of maps. They're good maps, they are good maps, how you use them and so on. But something a bit more utilitarian, a bit more useful, essentially, unleash your hilarious chaos in your game. There we go, there's one box there. And then a second box, which is your Dungeon Designer's Deck, 100 cards to level up your dungeon game. So a couple of nice accessories. And it says compatible with 5th edition. That's fine. This doesn't, but either way, the point is that compatible with 5th edition, okay, really means that it's yes, the stats are in there, but you can adapt them to the dungeon game of your choice. You know, what have we got next? Lovely little bag from Rebellion, which I actually adore, because it's basically, these books are under arrest. And in there, I've got a couple of things on Ultra Madness. This is a thing from Lamentations of the Flame Princess. Yep, okay. Oh, and that's the thing that's from Melsonian Arts Council, to go with Settlers, the department store supplement for Troika, which I've reviewed and I love. I absolutely adore. What's got in here? Stay Frosty, which is a second edition of a earlier role-playing game that was kind of a bit dated, but it's updated, made more accessible. But essentially, it's an Alien-style role-playing game, again from Melsonian Arts Council. That's a merchandise bonus card sort of thing for your 2013 merchandise. So one of the things I did pick up was the Return to Pavis, which is another one of the Kraken chap books, which I really adored. They're really interesting little books that are now available in this country via All Rolled Up. And the other thing that was available from All Rolled Up is this Cursed Scroll. This is one of the issue 3 of the fanzines published by the Arcane Library for Shadowdark, and is very difficult to get hold of outside of the US. Very few dealers have it in stock, because Arcane Library does not want it being sold via post or mail order, except from themselves. So you only have to literally go to personal place, but basically you have to go to places in person to buy it. And of course, in the case of Shadowdun, I do recommend you do buy it. I actually think it's a really well done little, retro clone. So continuing on in my bag of holding, Pit Crawlers. This is essentially a 2-player fantasy RPG inspired by old adventure game books. So head-to-head play. This I had a look at Pit Crawlers a few years ago. The quick start. It's taken and it's taken quite a while to come to print. This is from MacGuffin and Company. Nice little publisher, and they do some nice things. They've done a really fantastic book of campaign settings that are system agnostic, but they recommend different mechanics for you to use with them. And it's beginning to rain. Fantastic. So we're going to be out here in the rain whilst I do an unboxing. So exactly what I want to be doing. Let me see what else I've got. Adventures in 365 Adventures Cthulhu 1926. There we go. Now I did an unboxing recently of 365 Adventures, the Dungeon 2025, and this is a desktop calendar where you roll dice, you fight monsters, and attempt to get your as high a score as it is possible. But so I said I can't review or do the fantasy one because it's not going to be particularly different, but I can do the Cthulhu one because it's different enough, and I know people are interested in the reviews I write of Cthulhu related content. So this is a sort of like the equivalent of a kind of stocking kind of filler, little present for your fan of Call of Cthulhu or other role-playing games of Lovecraftian investigative horror. Almost done. Then the One Ring starter set. This is the new starter set for the One Ring role-playing game, the second edition from Free League Publishing. Now the first starter set, which I still do like a lot, is a great little mini campaign. You play hobbits. Essentially, you play the generation of hobbits in between Bilbo and Frodo. So you actually play Frodo's parents and Pippin and Merry's parents as well as Lobelia Bracegirdle. She's the character I absolutely want to play if I was to play that. But Bilbo goes, you want to go on adventures. You want to experience what I experienced. Going to the Lonely Mountain as a burglar with Gandalf and the dwarves. Okay. The problem with that is that it's quite set early on in that period, between the period of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, and there's no way to continue playing onwards after it. You don't have to do a bit of work. There's no step from that core setting into the game itself. However, there are ways around it. You pick up the resource book from the previous edition and just play a mini campaign like that. However, this is designed to get you started playing using standard starter set characters and into the game, support you playing, and then go and explore the wider world of Middle-earth as a standard campaign. So this is really your campaign starter for the One Ring. There's also a complete campaign available in the form of Moria, but do not go running off and doing that straight off. So I'm looking forward to opening that. I might even there's talk of us actually playing this, and I really, really hope that my friend Scott does that. Okay, he's running a very good game of Pendragon at the moment, which I also thoroughly recommend. Now here is something interesting. This was thrust into my hands by Peter at Square Hex. And if you are of a certain age, if you remember White Dwarf from the 1980s, this will get your heart aflutter. This is a reproduction of the Lichway from White Dwarf and the Best of White Dwarf Scenarios, Volume 1. Classic dungeon designed by the late Albie Fiore. Designed for first level adventurers. It has an incredibly big trap in it. One of those traps where your player characters, basically going, their curiosity will unleash hell. So this is, when people talk about Death, Doom, whatever the name of the scenario is from Lamentations of the Flame Princess, which does the same thing. This did it first back in the early 80s. So I'm going to just show you that. And there's a little bit of a coda to the scenario on the back. And the terrific thing is that Square Hex has permission to reprint this scenario. update it, tidy it up a little bit, and bring it to a wider audience, because essentially, unless you track this down on eBay, looking for the original edition it was in, might be issue, I can't remember which issue it was in. Does it say issue 9? This is sort of like, this is the first scenario in the pages of White Dwarf, the first fully fledged scenario in the pages of White Dwarf, 1978. So almost 50 years old, and it's still a cracking adventure. I could talk about this, you know, forever. And I'm going to do an unboxing of it very soon, because I want to be able to talk about it. I have actually played it recently, and it's such a good scenario. But that's coming back. That's coming back, and is going to be, it's going to be it's going to be professionally published, produced, and available. And I absolutely hope, off the back of this, that Peter at Scale Hex will be able to do more like this, because there's an audience for it. And it's not just old grognards. There's fans of the OSR will want to see this. Anyway, I'm going to pack this away so that I can actually get at my big red case. My big red battered case is getting a little. There's a split in the top, and there's an awful lot of weight of things in there. But that's what it's supposed to do. It wasn't expensive. It wasn't an expensive case. It was a relatively inexpensive case, and it means that I am able to transport an awful lot of books when I absolutely have to. So let me just pack this up. Whilst I'm doing this, if you're still watching, go get a cup of tea, cup of coffee, something or other, okay, or that sort of thing. Because normally I keep talking, and you know, I'd have books to talk about, but at this point, but yeah, because the other thing is, I say Lichway is basically written for basic Dungeons and Dragons, or even with which, because that was available. What was available in 1978. That's really easily translatable, adaptable to Old School Essentials. You know, you will not have any problems. I mean, we played it running Old School Essentials and had no difficulty whatsoever. Okay, so I'm just going to move this out of the way and hope it doesn't get rained on. Because there's not quite enough space here, and I don't want to put it down in the mud. I've actually cheated. I've gone and put it in the shed. Sorry about that. Anyway, so hopefully you're back and didn't have to wait too long. So let's have a look at what is inside my big red case. All the goodies, all the interesting things. Not the most... Well, actually, equally as interesting, I think, in some ways. So, let's have a look at the box set. So, backstories. The Emerald Wedding Anniversary. This is a solo adventure played using cards. I've done an unboxing and a video of the previous one. This is from Hachette. Really nicely done solo adventure that you wouldn't normally think, oh, that's not a solo adventure, but it is. But effectively uses its cards. And there are slots in the cards which help you reveal information and so on. Okay, put that to one side. Yeah. And, okay, start off with the little things at the end here. So, let's just grab that out of that. Okay, also that actually goes with the Lichway. People will remember that, if they've played it, they'll remember the Susurrus from that monster. So that monster from the scenario. So we've got the Season of the Snail. This is the latest scenario from Musonian Arts Council. It is another of the 1.5 Troika adventures, which are essentially dungeon-like adventures in the city of Troika itself. So you can play a campaign within Troika itself of these adventures. These are really fantastic. Wargray's Warehouse and the Hand of God I've looked at previously and really enjoyed, and because they're such fun. System Magic for tabletop role-playing. This is from Lost Pages, lovely OSR publisher based in Scotland. I thoroughly recommend Pablo and the stuff he is doing there. Eye of the Aeons is another 1.5 scenario for Troika. This is number 3. I'm just going to keep doing these. Really enjoying these. I don't know what it's about. Music of Eric Zahn. This is a supplement for scenario from Lamentations of the Flame Princess. I didn't pick up very much from Lamentations of the Flame Princess, but this is a book which I actually worked on as the editor. So I will be doing an unboxing of this at some point and pointing out that, yes, yeah, okay, where are we? Down there. Okay, there's me as the editor. And just making those to be very nice, pretty books, and okay, so latest thing, the second thing from Lamentations is Nubluth. I don't know anything about this. It's not a book I've looked at. Let's have a look. Yeah. Next, we've got the other issues of the Cursed Scroll. There are 3 available and 3 more coming with the next Kickstarter. So there we go. There's 1 and 2. And with these, I do an ongoing set of fanzine reviews around bank holidays, where I will try and do 16. I say 16. No, not 16. I've done 16. Don't do that. I will do 8 fanzine reviews over the course of the weekend, a couple of days, and they'll fit in nicely with that. What we've got here, we have Piaget 1348. Now, I've done an unboxing and a video of the quick start that was released for Free RPG Day this year. It is essentially a zombie hunting, plague fighting scenario in Renaissance Italy, where essentially one of the effects of the plague is that people are coming back from the dead, and you have to go and deal with it, and nobody can talk about it. Which ties in, I think, to one of the kind of ongoing themes with sort of role playing at the moment, which is sort of like there's a kind of a millennial, a millenarian kind of pre-millennium apocalyptic feel to things that people are doing. Or is that just me? But talking of that, we have the campaign for Doomsong. Lord have mercy on me. I really like the core rule book, but I didn't know what do I do with this. And there's no GM advice, there's no scenario in there. Pick this up. Okay, a couple of things from Soul Muppet Publishing. So we have Paint the Town Red, which is a role-playing game about gay vampires, and the solo book. And I want to thank Zach for doing a nice deal on those. That was really kind of him. Latest book from Pelgrane. I've done a couple of big reviews of Pelgrane books in the recent months. Swords of the Serpentine and the Borealis Connection, which I thoroughly recommend both of those for different reasons. Page Turners, essentially moving drama, hilarious comedy. You're the sole protagonist is a game of personal storytelling for 1 player and 1 GM, and it's designed by Robert E. Laws. I didn't know it was by him. I would have got it signed. That's so annoying upon my part. But it's too much to take into consideration that I didn't know that. I'm an idiot. Okay, what's next? new book for Level Up, which is sort of essentially an advanced variant of Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition from N Publishing. I've got the starter set to do a proper review of in due course. I've got to dig that out and do that. This is the next book I'm going to review for the publisher. I want to review the core book, but that's going to be hopefully next time I speak to them. We have Rygos the Storyteller Speaks, which is a new supplement from the Johnstown Compendium, basically adding to the lore of Glorantha, more detail and flavour, limited print release. These are really very nicely done. I've got this with me. I didn't pick this up. I've actually reviewed it. My review of this actually appeared today, but I was taking it to get signed, and not everyone was there. So I will do that at another convention. Studio Gate was there, and they gave me a copy of Tainted Grail: Song of the Dying World, which is based upon the board game with a similar name. Don't know anything about it. I love Shadows of Esteren, and interested to see what they're doing with another role-playing game. So that. Okay, what have we got next? Let's do the stuff in this bag. Okay, so as with every role-playing game you've seen, basically it seems to come back again, and that's the same with Rolemaster. The current version of Rolemaster is Rolemaster United. I've done an unboxing of the core book. I've done an unboxing of the Carp, which is a lighter variant of it. But Rolemaster is back, and I've done a review of the core book. The next book you want is Spell Lore, so guide to spells for the game. Never the most exciting books to actually kind of review because there's a long list of lists and things. But so that's a reviewing challenge rather than a problem. Similarly, again with the Creatures book for a system, you really have to dig in to say what's interesting about this, but I mean, again, a writing exercise, and which is great. I think that's it's great that publishers will support me, but further than that, not just support me, but give me challenging things to write about. Next is a couple of books from Monty Cook Games. We have Rust and Redemption, which is the generic post-apocalyptic role-playing game from them. I like the fact that what the publisher does is they will do a genre book, and then they'll support it with a setting book. But there's plenty of actual gameable content in there already. There's settings and scenarios and so on that you can work with, and all create your own. But then you can go away, pick up an actual setting book and play. Similarly, we have Neon Rain. This is the cyberpunk book. There are a couple of books from them that I do want to review at some point, so I'm waiting for those. And what have we got here? 3 things. Now, these are 3 things I didn't expect to pick up, but they were going very cheaply on Modifius's stand. So we have this is the limited edition. It's a nice cover of Masters of Dune campaign book. Now, I've already got this in standard edition. I reviewed it, but it was being sold off sort of like a third of the price, so why not? And my friend said, oh, they've already got this, and I wasn't planning to buy it. And I went, oh, all right then. But the 2 things I did pick up are not really to unbox, but I might do. Not really to review because I reviewed the core book, but to add to the collection. So yes, I do. I have a little bit of a collector's, probably have a big collector's bug, as it were. And these are the special editions of the core rulebooks. So this is this is the House Carino Collector's Edition core rulebook. I've already got the Harkonnen one, or Harkonnen one if you want. I'm not going to quibble with it. But you can see it's very nice. It's got essentially design influenced by the House Carino. And then we've got the House Atreides Collector's Edition, which is obviously the one that everyone wants because, hey, the Atreides are the good guys. In lovely, lovely green with the Atreides eagle there. I basically don't see I would have liked to have seen the Carino lion there, perhaps. But can't complain. So that leaves just one final interesting thing. Something I never expected to see. I never expected to actually see. And this is his lovely box set called Arcateria, The Invitation. It is essentially it's a Victorian era role-playing game that I know almost nothing about. Somebody said to me, "Have you seen this? It's absolutely fantastic. It's you know it's a role-playing game written by written and published in the Ukraine. Unfortunately, the author couldn't be there because he's actually serving in Ukrainian national, basically military forces at the moment, which is really unfortunate." Okay, so the whole reason why I picked this up, it was it was the last one, and B, I absolutely want to be able to talk about role-playing games outside of the English-speaking hegemony. If I'm purely honest, role-playing games and the hobby in general are dominated by the English-speaking market. And that's no bad thing. It makes them very accessible, but it does make it harder for voices outside of that to have a presence. I mean, so for example, Free League is a Swedish company, but publishes a lot in English as well as Swedish, but it's got really big because it's publishing in English and producing good stuff as well. So always good to track down things like this and find a different voice in terms of role-playing. So really looking forward to giving this a review, proper unboxing, when it's not raining. In the meantime, I hope you enjoyed this unbagging in the Nook, and you've seen something that you know will be interested to hear about more when I come to review it or unbox it later. If you were at DragonMeet yesterday, I hope you had a really good time. Lastly, I want to say thank you to everyone who said hello and said that they appreciated both my reviews and these videos. And I will be honest, these are amateur videos. They're not professional. It's just me showing you what I have and bringing my knowledge to you and chatting about them. And sharing them and showing them to you as best I can on a very basic setup of the Nook, basically a garden umbrella to keep the rain off, and there we go. Anyway, thanks again for watching another unboxing in the Nook, or I should say an unbagging in the Nook. If you enjoyed this, then please do click on the like button down below, and if you've got any comments or feedback, I do appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to get more unbaggings, but primarily unboxings in the Nook, where you will see me out here with a box which will contain a role-playing game, role-playing supplement, or role-playing scenario, or accessory, which I will unbox and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea. And again, then please do click on the subscribe button down below. Thanks again for watching another Unbagging in the Nook. I will be back again soon with another Unbagging in the Nook come the new year, perhaps after I've been to DragonMeet, and then later after I have been to Concrete Cow. That's in March. In the meantime, lots more unboxing in the Nook videos to come. Bye for now.